good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead. Hit doggone subscribe button. Hit notification bell. Every time I post up new content. Well, people, and yeah, this particular episode is brought to you in part by the lovely people that make this fantastic drink. But that's not important right now. So by now, everybody knows who the fall guy is. Tyler Robinson, right? So, and this, a lot of times, sometimes you have to play connect the dots on what the fuck is going on, right? So, come probably, let's just say 2 months and, because what's the day? 2 months and let's just say 10 days, right? We'll be celebrating the 62nd anniversary of the assassination of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Now, history would have you believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was the one that actually like really pulled the trigger, killed the president, right? And this is the only reason why I got my glasses on because if you actually really think about how close this shit is, right? It's enough to actually really make you want to put your glasses on just long enough to make you think, okay, well, hey, look, what the fuck going on here, right? So now that I've actually really gotten that out the way, I can take these some bitches off now, right? And so let's actually really stop and look at this for a minute. Let's actually really look at the Kennedy assassination in perspective, right? The infamous Zapruder film, where you see Kennedy's head going back and to the left. Now, the way that Oswald was, you know that he could not have possibly taken that shot. But they pinned it on Lee Harvey Oswald. And then what's so bad about it, right? Once they got him, which was 1 hour and 30 minutes, or 90 minutes for your number three. And then what did they just say? It took them 33 hours again for your number three if you into the numbers game. Shout out to motherfucking Zachary K. Hubbard that's always on the job, right? So let's actually really stop and think about this for a minute, right? Because I was actually really talking to one of my good friends earlier today, and I asked, okay, since when do snipers actually like really take neck shots? It's always a headshot. I mean, even I'm not, now I'm no sniper, right? But every time I went out to the range, that's what the fuck I was shooting for. I was always looking for that doggone headshot, right? So this is, and I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you how um how a sniper is actually like really supposed to look. But the thing about it though is this, right? Once that shot was fired, and then you see this motherfucker climbing off of buildings and shit. So depending on how much security was there, what's good with you? You know, uh, so basically, what happens is this, right? You see this guy jump off of buildings and shit, and depending on how much security was actually like really there, right? You mean to tell me they really couldn't catch him? And then what's so bad about it? You then what's so bad about it? This is how you know that the shit was fucked up. Because they go out there and grab some old guy like he was actually like in the wrong he had the wrong clothes on, right? Really couldn't walk. So you mean to tell me this guy had enough about himself to carry a weapon, climb on top of a building, right? And shoot a guy, right? And then jump off of a building, right? So for the authorities to actually really catch him, come on now. And but the thing about it though is this, right? And I'm gonna come out here and just say it, right? And just like what I said, since when do snipers don't do headshots? And the way that it actually really went down, you would actually really think that that shit was staged. I mean, because think about it, right? He got it right there in the jugular, which for the most part, I mean, yeah, you can shoot a person in the neck, but to actually like really hit the jugular like that in precise and with that type of precision, no, I'm not buying that, right? Because cinemass, right, is almost is like 99.999% guaranteed. You shoot a motherfucker cinemass, they out of there, right? And so for the most part, if you really ask me, I really don't think this motherfucker is dead, but they had to shut him up. They had to shut him up, right? You know, and so it's the same thing with the whole Lee Harvey Oswald case. You look at how Kennedy's head went back and where they said that Lee Harvey Oswald was. You already know that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't make that shot, but he was the one that took the hit. Come on, big bro. I know what you. Yeah, you know, like tell these people what's happening. So my whole deal is this. Yesterday was what? The 24th anniversary of 9/11. We already know how that shit went down. That was an inside job. President Kennedy's assassination was an inside job. Charlie Kirk's assassination, so called assassination, was an inside job, right? And then depending on who the fuck you talk to, right? President Kennedy actually really came back as motherfucking Jimmy Carter. Now I know it's somewhat of a stretch, but if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, go back and actually really look at some of the videos that they actually really did. They put pictures of Jimmy Carter and President Kennedy together. And it's like you almost gotta be like, well, I don't know, right? But this is, you know, 9/11 was suspicious. President Kennedy's assassination was suspicious because he had those radical, somewhat um, views that the motherfuckers that act like really had been in the game for a minute really didn't like what the hell that President Kennedy was doing. They wanted to keep the Vietnam War going along on top of other wars because we all know that war brings in money, serious money. But do any of us see it? Hell no. Right? So my whole deal is this. If you really like connecting the dots, if you really like connecting the dots, right? For people that actually really has been designed to actually really take the fall for a hit off of something that they really didn't do, then Tyler Robinson is your guy, because then they're gonna say, oh, the daddy turned him in. And then it's just for the simple fact, right? How did y'all actually really know that this was the guy? This guy had a hat on and some sunglasses. Right? Now, unless it's another striking feature about his face or his body, right? This ain't the dude that did it. I mean, because take me for an example, right? Goddamn, dog. Sending all this shit. So take me for example, right? I'm not gonna say that I'm the most recognizable person here in Little Rock and within the Little Rock and North Little Rock area, right? But it would really be hard for me to actually really commit a crime within the Little Rock and North Little Rock area, right? I'm bald headed, I got a gray beard, and I got two tattoos, one on each arm, right? Really ain't gonna be hard for me to find. And then for the most part, I'll be stupid if I was actually really was going to actually really call myself trying to take out somebody, right? And I'm dressed like this, or I'm looking like this, because they gonna say, I mean, now, great the fact, yes, it's a needle in the haystack, but at the same time, right? If the camera was that goddamn close on my face, like it was him, I could put shades on and be like, and it still wouldn't motherfucking matter. They want this guy to take the hit. I really don't know what the fuck the United States government told this guy or told this family what they're actually really going to be compensated for. But 9 times out of 10, it ain't going to be worth shit. Your boy finna go to jail, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and say that a father will not turn in one of his kids if they actually really do something wrong. But I'm just like, okay, that within itself, though, that within itself actually really doesn't sound right. When for the most part, they really don't have a real concrete description of yourself. So you just gonna sit up here and offer up your son, right? Just because what the fuck you saw on the camera? Yeah, okay. Fuck games as usual. So this is what the fuck we do now. So um again, for those of y'all that actually really like listening to music, right? Especially hip hop, at least back in the day, right? They come out with a new song or whatever, and then what do they always tell you? Contains a sample of such and such and such, of such and such and such, and then they actually really give you the exact time where that particular sample happens in the song. So let's just actually really stop and look at this. Let's go back again. Let's go back to November 22nd, 1963. And let's fast forward that shit soon to be some 62 years later. Because what a lot of people really don't know about it, they started planning in the goddamn Kennedy assassination right about around about the same time, around about the late August, going into the September time frame, if not earlier. So for the most part, you pretty much can say the exact same thing for old boy. But to be perfectly honest with you, I really don't. This is a fall guy. They don't know who shot. They don't know what they know who shot. They know who shot, or at least I'm feeling that they know who shot. But they got this guy, right? And then it's just for the simple fact, right? If that with snipers, right? They gonna have scopes. They really didn't say too much. They really didn't say too much of nothing about. They just said it was a bolt action rifle. They didn't actually really say that it had a scope on it. Now, if it had a scope on it, and damn, you know what? I might need to shut the fuck up because I know what the fuck YouTube does. They'll sit back and they'll watch all this shit, and then if they don't actually really come out and say that that weapon had a motherfucking scope on it, it'll surprise the fuck out of me. It really would, right? But then if they don't, from that far away, to get a neck shot, that damn precise, I'm not buying it. Not with no motherfucking scope. Now, put like this, depending on the distance, right? You know, any soldier, right, that actually really know how to handle a motherfucking weapon. Yeah, you could take out a target at 300 meters. You can take out a target at 300 meters, whether it's headshot or in the chest somewhere, right? But to actually really get right here or right here without a scope, that's goddamn luck of the draw. You got some damn good eyesight to hit a motherfucker that damn far and to be that damn precise. And it just for the simple fact, it really looked like, and then all that shit, what they was talking about, what the motherfuckers was doing, all these goddamn hand signals, all that kind of shit. Dog, that shit don't matter unless it was a scope on that damn rifle. I want to know what would show me the goddamn rifle. I want to know what that motherfucking rifle looked like. If it had a scope, then hey, guess what? I won't say shit else. But if it doesn't have a scope, right, then I'm not buying it. Ain't no regular motherfucker is gonna shoot somebody with that damn precision and ain't got no scope on no motherfucking rifle. Y'all can motherfucking lick the crack of my ass and tell me how it tastes. Yeah, I said it. But that's my spiel. But it's just for the simple fact that these two men, Tyler Robinson, Lee Harvey Oswald, will go down in history as the ultimate fall guys if indeed you actually really want to call this motherfucking political violence. It's just like what I told y'all. It's just like what I told y'all yesterday. If y'all gonna actually really get pissed off of what the fuck somebody tell y'all, right? Okay, hold on, poo poo. There you go. Say hey. Okay, hold on. I'm about finished. I'm about finished. I'm about finished. Well, come on up here. Come on up here. Hold on. Don't you mess with pop up glasses. You know, I put them on. Because you don't need glasses. You young enough. Okay, well, you want to go back in there? Hey. Okay, yeah. So, but in other case, I'm about finished. Did my little grandbaby, y'all. So, don't mess with it. So, but basically, people, I've already just said what I needed to say. I already said what I needed to say. So, with that being said, hey, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa. Motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. Motherfucker next door, cross street, right the corner, Paulus Harris. Follows Harris, aka Gray's uncle. We gonna have to tell everybody bye. Say bye bye. All right.